it's time for our weekly crypto and digital asset update with Bobby Del Rio, host of the Daily Drop. Take it away.
Hey, it's Bobby Del Rio with your crypto update. So we definitely got to start with Bitcoin. So yesterday, Bitcoin finally hit 30,000, which is very, very significant, obviously psychologically, but also mathematically. So you have to understand that Bitcoin, for anyone who hasn't been paying attention, was trading at approximately, let's say, 16.5 at the top of the year. So Jan 1st, something like that. And so yesterday it hit 30,000, which is almost double. So you're talking about almost a 100% gain. I mean, I don't know exactly what, 93% or something, but the price is almost doubled this year alone. So for all the people saying, crypto's a scam, Bitcoin was created by the devil, you hear all sorts of crazy things. You really pay attention to the momentum that Bitcoin has, because a lot of people are making a lot of money right now, to be honest. So speaking of making a lot of money, altcoins, and again, for anyone who doesn't know what an altcoin is, that is essentially a cryptocurrency that is not Bitcoin and is not a stable coin. So they were crashing considerably last week. This week, they've actually started to rebound on the heels of Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin has increased more than the altcoins because Bitcoin is perceived as safer. I think that's pretty much how the average retail investor is viewing Bitcoin at this point, which is also probably correct, as the SEC has pretty much attempted to, ban, punish every single cryptocurrency, even some of the stable coins, as there's been a recent controversy with Tether, yet not Bitcoin, which is also really interesting, because one has to question, well, why is Bitcoin the only cryptocurrency of the approximately 20,000 cryptocurrencies that is not the dreaded unregistered security? This is a whole other debate, but it also shows you, that Bitcoin is perceived as a very safe investment by many, many people. But continuing with, this SEC's assault on cryptocurrencies, what's very interesting is we have to go back to an episode I did early this year. So I guess it would be January. I actually had him on twice, but I had a gentleman who's an attorney named Aaron Kaplan on one of my episodes of the Daily Drop, talking about the SEC. We had him on again talking about Genesis, which is a major crypto lender. But the reason I bring up Aaron Kaplan is that we had a really interesting episode where I talked about how the SEC is suing Ripple, which is another sort of key cryptocurrency with a very huge market cap. And we had a somewhat friendly debate about, well, has the SEC gone too far? Is the SEC versus Ripple case a landmark lawsuit? And interestingly, within the last week, clips of that episode of the Daily Drop with Aaron Kaplan are getting hundreds of thousands of views on Twitter. Like at last time I checked, I think one had like 134,000, another clip at 107,000, another clip at 50,000. And I guess what had happened is Aaron Kaplan was recently speaking before Congress, and I guess his very pro SEC, which is incongruous to what many people in the crypto community feel. So, and again, I'm not taking a position. I'm not saying one is right or one is wrong. But it is interesting that, that clip and sort of versions of that clip are essentially going viral on Twitter, which mostly is because of the hatred toward the SEC. So Aaron Kaplan has been somewhat of a flashpoint at this point. And, speaking of flashpoint, the SEC is really in the middle of, a tropical storm within the crypto community. Now, this appears to be a man-made storm, as they're picking fights with lots of people. But what it has done is created, pardon the pun, but a ripple effect throughout the entire community. So you really have all of the sort of institutions, it seems like the SEC, the big banks on the one side, and sort of private citizens and, Web3 protocols, community-based crypto on the other side. And I really don't know who is going to win, but stay tuned. I'm Bobby Del Rio. That's your crypto update.
All right, thanks for that, Bobby. And that was Bobby Del Rio, host of the Daily Drop.